Hey, today we're going to get into a video views ad in the Meta Center in Ads Manager. So I'm going to share my screen. And here we are, adsmanager.facebook.com. Now you need to have an ads account already set up when you first start a business page as a musician. This won't be set up yet, but we'll get to that in another lesson. Today we're just going to set up a video views ad. We'll assume you already have access to Ads Manager for this lesson. What we're going to do is over here on the left hand side we've got campaigns. That's the first set. We're going to press create. I'm going to click awareness. You can see down the right hand side here you've got all the different options of what is in awareness. Now if I click on any of these others, you can see that they all have different things that you can do, and that's all the strategies you can learn in Meta Ads, is how to use each and every different one of these. You'll notice also in engagement it also has video views, but the engagement video views charges, makes you spend the money different. So what we want is an awareness video views, and I'll explain that a little bit later. Now, next we go to the campaign part where we need to do stuff. So I'm going to call this ad video view kill. Sometimes I might call it video view because I'm targeting an area, say Bendigo. Sometimes I might call it video view with a specific piece of content, maybe Cassidy's Blues video, for example. Depends what I want this campaign to function as, and it's just a reference for me for later. So I'm just going to call it video view kill today. You don't need to check off many of these boxes. You can scroll down, not worry about any of this stuff. Now the thing that Meta does all the time is change this backend and gives you new things to look at, which is super annoying. But I'm going to move straight on to the ad set. I'm going to call it the same thing as the campaign name. My performance goal is to maximum reach of ads. We just double checks that that's what we want, because it's not here. Look, you can have reach of ads, number of impressions, ad recall lift, maximum through plays, maximum 2-second continuous video plays. What I want is a full through play. I want someone to listen to that music. Next, make sure you pick the right Facebook page. How often have I set up an ad on a different page that I'm managing? It's very annoying. Don't need to worry about frequency or dynamic creative. Your budget, chuck it on. Sometimes you definitely want to set an end date, because Meta does have a tendency sometimes to go wrong. I once spent $400 in a day because I had not checked my ad properly. And then you can set your audience controls. Now there's a few different strategies here. If you're an online artist, you might just pick a bunch of different countries and just leave it at that. But if I was a touring artist, I would pick the markets that I plan to tour in, because I don't want to spend money in places I'm not going to tour if that's not the objective. So for example, I might pick a bunch of East Coast towns in Australia specifically, instead of Australia as a whole, because I don't want my ad going to Darwin or Perth or any of the places that's expensive to tour to. I want my ad going to Melbourne and Sydney and Brisbane and everywhere in between those cities. And then you got the minimum age. For me, I bring mine up because my audience are older. You might not know yet, so just keep it at 18 if you don't know. Don't worry about your custom audiences just yet, or your advantage, or your ad transparency, or the placement, any of this. It's not important. Just click through to next. We're in the ad itself now. Identity, make sure you got the right pages selected. Ad setup. I'm going to use an existing post. What I want to do with ads is generally, post something organically, and if it goes well, then put an ad on it. Wait until you know if the content actually worked. So I'm going to use an existing post. Multi-advertiser ads. Your ad can appear with others in the same ad unit to help promote discoverability. Your ad creative may be resized or cropped. That's fine. Destination. This is a place I want them to go. So the way a video views ad is, you've got the video itself. Meta spends on people seeing the video. But then you've got this other special free little button which can send them off somewhere else. Now, if you're online and trying to build your Spotify, you're going to put your Spotify link here. I'm going to put my website in because I can get it off the top of my head without finding my Spotify link. But yeah, you can pick any URL that you like. You could send them to a ticket to buy, you could send them to a merch store, wherever you want. The thing about Meta though is Instagram and Facebook belong together, so don't send them to your Instagram page. Sometimes my brain takes a little while to catch up. Mobile app? No, none. We don't want any browser add-ons. Then we go to select our post. I'm going to pick this one because I remember it went quite well for commenting. People seem to like that video, which means more people will probably like that video. And now the primary text, that's the bit that goes up the top of the ad. You can see down the right hand side, this is where your ads are going to look like. Now the ads get placed in lots of different places, which is what all this is. Instagram stories, Facebook stories, marketplace, reels, like it goes everywhere. And each ad looks slightly different depending on where it is. So that primary text, that's going to be up the top for a Facebook feed, down the bottom for an Instagram feed, for example. The thing to remember is you don't have a lot of space before it gets to the point where it says see more and does the dots. Now you can put heaps of information in there, but then you're asking people to click something else. Up to you what you do with that. Sometimes I might put like the lyric in and then put my whole bio in as well, and it's like this huge long ad. Whether people click on the see more, I don't know. Add a destination, we've got the website there. Call to action, this is the fun part. What do you want them to do? If I was sending them to Spotify, I would click listen now. If I was sending them to a ticket, I'd click book now. If I'm sending them to my website, I'm going to go learn more. Or I might even just go listen if I've got something to listen to on my website. Don't need to worry too much about the enhancements or the testing. Now, tracking. You can choose no website events, but if you've got the pixel set up, absolutely click it. The way the pixel works is it's a little code. It exists in Meta, and then you can put it places. And what it does is if a human goes from Meta to the place you sent them, the pixel says, hey, Meta, this person came over. We got them. And then it flicks it back to Meta, and then you can target the person that went back and forth deliberately, which is why it's really good. And that's it. We press publish and the ad will go. You can skip your registration tax information. You can update that later. And what happens is now it goes to processing. If you go back to campaigns, you'll see that it's in your campaign somewhere. It'll say ad sets inactive because it's processing. Give it an hour or so and then it should click into working. And that is how you set up a video view ad.